instead of what I want to do for myself. Like, are you more important than me? That doesn't make it. I don't fuck with that. I would never let someone tell me what to do. Like, long term, like, oh, you have to grow up and do this. Shit, I'll not grow up if I want to. Because then, if I live my life this way, I can't be upset with the result. Because it was all from my actions. But if I do something that someone else wants me to do, and I end up in a place that's not good, or like I'm not satisfied, and I'm stuck, then I'm gonna feel like a dumbass. Because I let someone else put me in this position instead of myself. That's why I try not to hold on to shit. It's like people do shit to you, and it might hurt you, but you just gotta push it deep down, and it fades away over time, really. To be truly honest. Because my parents have done some fucked up shit to me that I've never told anyone. And to this day, I don't even care about it anymore.
And you don't think, and if you don't think that, like, if you didn't have them or whatever,
What do you mean?
or they didn't provide for you, you'd still able to continue this childhood, quote unquote, rebellion.
If they didn't provide for me?
As in, just like, if they did the basic requirements, I'm not saying, like, oh, if they didn't feed you or house you. Those are the requirements if you have a kid. Feed them, house them.
Mm-hmm.
And that's about it. As long as you give them a place to survive.
Yeah.
Those are the basic requirements.
Yeah.
But then they do the extra shit, or quote unquote extra, or like.
I mean, the extra shit is nice, but.
Like buy you a car and pay some bills or whatever.
From my personal experience, the extra shit is nice, but I never once asked them for it. I know that sounds fucked up, but. Like, when I ask for something, I'm more appreciative of it, and I'm more inclined to be indebted to that person, if that makes sense. Because my parents be doing, like, they used to do a bunch of shit for me. Like, they're pretty wealthy people. They got me a decent amount of stuff. But, like, in the end, it's all material things, like, because you don't want to see it as a way of, oh, they're basically just trying to bribe me into a way for them to, like, manipulate me through objects. That's not what I want to see it as. Like, yeah, thanks, but that doesn't really matter anymore. That's why I stick to not holding on to things. Enjoy things in the moment and then move on to new things.
But let's say those things in the trauma may have affected you in one way, shape, or form. May have affected how you interact with other people. It may affect how you deal with issues. It may affect how with stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Are you not going to take into account those specific traumas that may have formed your personality or traits and habits and try to, fix them or atone for them or forgive people or whatever you need to do to get over it? Because if you just go, push it deep down or like just let it fade away, what if in that fading away that then becomes you, and it's like a you that's like, I don't know, lazy or negative people or shy or whatever?
I don't think you should let it make you.
No, you don't let it make you. It just becomes like something you would subconsciously do. Like, say if if you saw your parents arguing all the time, or being stubborn at once, you don't think that would subconsciously affect you with your relationships?
I don't think it should, based on your mentality. That's why I say everyone's different, because a lot of my friends, myself included, I've seen shit like that and I've never liked it. So my entire childhood, I've grown up always hating all that argument shit, and to this day, I'm like, I'm not gonna be like that. Like, I live by my own code based on the things I've seen. Basically, like, maybe not all kids are able to do that, but I know that's how it was for me. I don't see myself being an aggressive person. I really don't, like, not in the slightest. Like, everyone argues, but I don't think I'd ever be aggressive like my parents were.
Even if you aren't an aggressive arguer, Or like,
Well,
let's say whenever you get like, you can think back times whenever you were angry or felt some type of emotion, how whatever you're feeling caused you to do actions you never think you'll do, and it puts you in a state where you never thought that could be you. And then when you look back on those times, it's like, was that me? Like, what the fuck? I never thought that was me. I never thought I'd be like that would be my personality. Like fucking, I don't know. You're arguing with somebody and you start calling them mean names or whatever, and then you think back to the time, why the fuck was I like that? I've never done that before. Like, why?
well, yeah, everyone has their moments. Yeah, I'm pretty sure some things you just can't prevent. Like, to be straight up, like everything, because especially as a kid, you're very perceptible to things, so you're easily gonna pick up, like, I'm talking like when you're an infant, like a baby, you'll just pick up on habits because as a developing child, you're gonna see them as normal human habits, like small things here and there that come out. But like, I don't think you can prevent those. It's the big things like perspective and like point of view that are important in analyzing situations. Because if you're a more reactive person, then you're just gonna be emotionally attached to things, which cause more emotional reactions, which affects the brain more. Emotions affect the brain more than logic. That's why it's harder to think logical. But apart from that, that's basically why some people keep those habits because they are not able to process it differently. Which you can go to like psychiatrists and shit for help for that. Cause I don't know. I did in my psychology class. I learned a lot of weird shit. Like they're like specialized, not hypnotists, but like psychologists that like access your deep memories that you never even knew you had, and it's like legitimate. But that's how you fix those. But those I don't think matter because everyone has them. It's like inevitable. But yeah, man, it's all about how you see things. If you if something traumatic happened to you and you forever see it as something that you're gonna continue to be scared of and continue to like hold you back, then that's what it's gonna be. But that doesn't have to be a bad thing in its own way. But over time, if you start like thinking of it in a different way, like, oh, maybe this happened to me specifically so that I could learn from it and do something important with it. Like maybe it has to do with your genes. I don't know. Some people are like superstitious. But like if you're born with like a gene deficiency for certain things, then they say things will happen to you to balance it out. It just depends on whether if you react to it the right way or not, which I think there's some truth to. Because I feel like I was born to be super antisocial, but because of the niggas I met and how tired I got of being lonely, I kind of got over it, and now I'm just cool with everyone I meet. Some shit like that.
And you don't think some of that antisocial or whatever shit you think you're just born with? You don't think if you growing up growing up in like a place where your parents would often take you out to be with other people or just be social as a youth, and not only that, they also showed you how outgoing they were, so you picked up on those habits or traits or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So then you just learned how to be a social person. You think you'd still choose to be a social person, and you know that was your background and growing up, and you know how to socialize and all that shit. You don't think you'd still, I'm gonna just be alone.
Yeah, because it's in your genes. Because it's something you were born with that was predetermined. Even now, like literally, even when we podcast and shit, that's my antisocial tendencies pop up every time I hang out with groups of people. Doesn't matter how close I am to them, like at all. I'll still be quiet like a lot. Like I said during the podcast, even when I hang out with like fucking Dallas and them, I'm quiet a lot But like, it's not because I want to be. It's just that's how my brain reacts. It's just like, okay, I have nothing to say. I'm gonna be quiet now, which is classified as an antisocial tendency.
But is that? Do you think that's something you're born with, or you don't think that's something that's just?
I think I was born with it.
Because like let's say as a kid, and like you're with a group of people, and like as a kid you're dumb and you're fucking you don't know what you're doing,
Mhm.
and you're not scared of like what people will think or whatever, because that's not you're just not thinking of that because you're a kid. You're just thinking about playing.
Mhm.
So you don't think if you were just in a group with a group of kids and you guys were playing, you think you're just automatically just go, I should be silent because I don't know what I'm talking about, or you just be like, ooh, goo, gaga, woo.
No, I think it's strictly situational, cause things pop up based on different factors that trigger it. So like, if I'm sitting down with like a bunch of people and like everyone's like talking or something, like let's say we're like talking in turns or some shit, I'll be quiet for most of the time and just listen to people. Like, not cuz I don't feel like talking, but because literally that's my natural reaction to just observe until spoken to. Yeah, I basically live by that. Don't speak unless spoken to. Unless I have something to say, then I'll say it. Like if I ever have something to say, I'll say it. But it's just most of the time by default, I'm probably just gonna be sitting there reacting to things. Yeah.
But let's say if you did have something to say, you feel like you can speak on it or whatever without being called upon.
Mm.
Like you don't ever get that feeling. Ooh, I want to say something, but I'm gonna wait. Or ooh, I want to say something, but I want to sound dumb. Or ooh, I want to say something, but I don't want to be judged. You don't think none of that pops up into your head when contemplating these things? Like, ooh, I want to say something, but I want to be looked at as stupid. But it's like,
Well,
but it's like the environment you're in. It promotes, whatever you're thinking at the time, regardless of your experience or whatever. It's just, we just want to hear what you have to say
well, yeah.
because then we'll be able to like observe and see maybe some from the beginning of the year how you used to think, and then at the end of the year you can see your growth because that's really the most important part with people and all. You need to learn and grow from your mistakes and from your inexperiences rather than being like, oh, because you didn't have this experience or because you know shit, and then you're not gonna be a dumbass for the rest of your life, and now we're gonna fucking make fun of you and beat you down, then wonder why you're shit, and then blame it on you for the reason why you're shit, and
Well,
not take accountability for how we used to make fun of people for being, ooh, you dress gay, so now um and being gay is bad, so whenever you, let's say you have an idea for a clothing line but you feel like it might be too gay because as a kid you used to be chastised for it and used to be told that it was bad, you now don't want to do that clothing line, and now you're working a shit 9 to 5 instead of living your dream job, which is
well,
making that gay shit.
I don't think that's what would happen, cause like that's something that would happen. Like, yeah, if you were picked on for like something being or looking gay, and then you question something you make in the future about that, then I think the good thing to do, or the most logical thing someone would do, would just come up with something else. Like, or it's just based on what you see gay as. Cause like those are very specific situations. I can't like say something specifically for that, but I will say this: regardless of like what has happened to you or what is done to you, I think it's possible to bounce back from anything simply by changing your perspective, because the human brain is pretty crazy. Like, I watched some really amazing videos in my classes about like the brain and shit, and what some people are able to do. Like, there are people out there who are able to just like
Look at shit once and draw it.
and yeah, and then like completely understand like situations. It's crazy. It's like niggas with actual superpowers, like with amazing. What's the fucking word?
Genes, DNA.
Yeah, analytical abilities. It's really just about overpowering your emotion with logic, because the way I see the brain, it's like 80-20. with 20 being logic and 80 being emotion. And I think if you can access that 20% for fragments and pieces of your life that are like impactful, then you can shape yourself in a way where you become more self-driven, like more of not rebellious, but you live for yourself. And things that are said to you and done to you may affect you at the time, but you know you'll come back from it. Cause every time something bad happens to me, I just think about like other people who are in worse situations than me, like niggas who are literally homeless, no clothes, no food, nothing, who are millionaires now. And I'm just like, I'm over here, I got beat. And yeah, it hurt, but I know why it hurt. And I know why it happened. It might not have happened for a just reason, but I know why it happened, at least. And I can understand that it's because there's something wrong with these people. So, like, it's not their fault. They also have their own problems that they're working out that causes them to do this. And I can live with understanding that. Like, so it's like just try your best not to hate everything that happens to you. Yeah, that's
I think we call that empathy.
yes,
Because
exactly.
whenever people are like whatever, some type of way to me, I just go, I wonder what God.
Exactly. That's literally what I do with people too. That's why I don't really go off on people that much, like most of my other friends do. It'd be surprising me how easily niggas be getting mad these days.
Especially over dumb shit. Like,
Yeah, the dumbest
can you
shit.
believe this famous couple broke up? What?
Okay. I don't really care about insignificant things like that.
What do you care about?
Nigga, myself and the people I'm involved with. That's it. I try to keep my focus to a minimum to keep from overloading myself. Because I'm trying to do school and shit, make money, and be happy in the future. I don't care what I'm doing as long as I'm happy. And the people I'm involved with, because I want my people to come up with me. I want my friends and family to stay my friends and family, and to not be in worse situations than me. And that's it. I don't care about nothing else. No politics, which might be ignorant, but I really don't give a fuck. I don't care about nothing else. At all. It just doesn't matter. Because it doesn't affect me. Not directly, anyways, but
What if to get to that point where you want your peoples to be ups, but the things you're doing you don't enjoy, and you yourself are suffering?
then you fix yourself.
What if you can't? Or if by fixing yourself you have to quit whatever you're doing that's providing for everybody?
I think you should always start with yourself and then worry about other people. Which is selfish, but yes, the world is selfish. That's just how things are. If you're not happy, you should not be worrying about trying to make other people happy. It just doesn't make sense. You can't help someone achieve something you haven't achieved yourself.
What if it's just something you just naturally do? You just, naturally want to care for other people and stuff like that, but then, you have to learn not to be. You have to learn to be selfish, and then by learning to be selfish, you become overly selfish. And then people start to go on you, nigga, why the fuck don't you care about us? But it's like, nigga, I used to, but then you guys took advantage of me, then hurt me.
Well, then that's different.
'Cause that's usually how it is in some relationships. Like, ooh, I'm overly nice to you or do things to you, but you take advantage and use me. So then now I become hurt, and now I won't do it again. So now my next partner or person will think I'm selfish when it's like, no, I care, but I don't want to drive you away.
Well, see, that would be the negative response, though. That could happen, or you could see it as, oh, this person was taking advantage of me. I cut them off so that I could better myself for someone who actually deserves it, so that I can be better for the next better person. I see bad things happening. I think it's good to see a variety of bad things happen so that you know what's not good to do. I don't think it makes sense to see something bad and then do that bad thing unless you're a bad person or unless you see that thing as good, which means you have problems. But if you're a normal person, like with a normal brain, then I think you should be smart. It's all about being smart. Don't let your emotions or reactions get the better of you in moments cuz it just makes you look bad. And it brings nothing but regret. If you just focus on that regret off of whatever you're about to do, then it'll keep you from doing it. That's how I keep away from drinking. Every time I'm about to drink, I'm like, am I ready for what's about to happen afterwards? And if the answer is no, then I literally don't do it. Tomorrow I'm drinking though because I'm prepared for what comes after, but I guess that goes for bad things too. You can do something bad knowing it's bad and be ready for what comes afterwards. But sometimes it's necessary.
What other times was necessary to be bad?
There's necessary evil in the world.
Well, yeah, when it's the
Like
lesser evil.
like me, for example, my friend, she had like a bunch of problems. Like she was suicidal, she was depressed, she had an abusive girlfriend, her parents were homophobic. Um, her best friend slash sister stopped being her best friend slash sister. Like they hate each other. Um, she's ran away. I don't know, bunch of stuff. She's fat. She's kind of obese. Well, no, she's not obese. She's just fat. And she has a lot of issues. Like she's so messed up mentally. I don't know now. I think she's better now, and I think that's why I say this was a necessary evil. Cause I used to always help her with her problems, like on the daily. Like she'd come to me, but this happened, and then I tell her, okay, this is how you should go about it. Blah blah blah. You're good. Next day, another problem, and then it just keep repeating. And then I literally used to go to her house, like I used to like bike to her house to like comfort her and shit. And then it got to the point where I was like, I'm starting to be affected by her problems. Like I shouldn't sit here feeling sad for myself because of someone else's problem. And it isn't like a problem that's like, oh, this just happened unexpectedly. It's something that keeps repeating. It's like the same problem with her girlfriend. My girlfriend did this, my girlfriend did that. Oh, my parents, blah, 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 this. And then I always give the same advice. Well, maybe not every time, but I give the most logical explanation I can. What I would do to fix the problem. But they never do that, and they just keep coming back. So I'm sitting here feeling like, damn, I can't help this person. This makes me feel bad, which lowers my self-esteem, which starts hurting me negatively. And then I'm like, okay, I can't seem to help this person, so I stopped helping her. Like, I literally stopped hanging out with her. I just let her kind of work her own thing out. And then after I stopped talking to her, she got a place with her girlfriend. She found a job. She's making hella money now doing construction. Not construction. Something kind of like that. Her Instagram's kind of popping. She's doing makeup stuff. She's been wanting to do makeup tutorials for a while. I've always told her to do it, and she never did it until I stopped talking to her. And then she actually started doing all this shit. And now she looks decently happy. Like, she's never looked like that, not to me before. So I'm like, okay, there we go. I guess some people you just have to let go through the motion and they figure it out. Not everyone can be helped in the way you think you should help them. And that's kind of how not psychiatry, therapy works. There's different methods to solve problems, and you should just find that method. And if it's kind of a fucked up method, then so be it. Because if it works, you're only helping that person. Even if it's kind of a fucked up thing to do. Like, yeah, I ghosted her, but look at her now. I don't know what happened, but I'm sure me ghosting her led to something. That probably led to something that led to something else down the line. Who cares how far down the line it is? Something was triggered by me ghosting her that helped her. So in the end, it's a win-win. Cause I'm chilling.
I think it's like the thing of you take something for granted, you take it for advantage, but as soon as it leaves you, as soon as you lose it, then that's when you start to appreciate it. Then that's when you realize, oh shit, I had to get. So I don't know if that's maybe something she might have thought when you ghosted her. She was like, damn, I had something good here, but I guess I did something wrong.
Exactly.
And then that, because that's like low key rock bottom or the turning point where it's like, damn, I need to change. I need to work on myself. I need to boom, boom, boom. Because that's usually when people start to see real growth and stuff like that after hitting rock bottom.
Exactly.
After whatever thing that happened just makes them snap, that's when they go, fuck it. I'm going to just try to do me or improve or whatever. Because they don't want to ever experience that rock bottom shit again.
Exactly. It's that point when you're like low key, when you've like given up hope, when it's like, damn, I don't know what else I can do right now. So you have to go back through your experiences and things you've been told that you probably skipped over because of whatever you were going through. And you start realizing shit. And you just do shit until it works. I think everyone's in denial to a point. All human beings are in denial until they have no other option. Because I know damn well I was. I don't remember with what exactly, to be honest, with a lot of things, but I'll reach a point where I'm like, fuck, I don't know what else I want to do about it. So I guess I have to do what someone else would do about it. And then it would work. And then you just go through the motion again. Keep trying your shit. If it fails, try someone else's shit. Sometimes your shit will work, sometimes it won't. It's all trial and error. Alright.
Now, what about the things that you want to do or whatever? But it's like something that may harm you in the longer run or may harm somebody else, but it helps you. It's basically not the most efficient, practical way to do things, but that's all you know because that's all the experience you went through. Nobody else taught you how to do the certain things. And then you hate on yourself for being the way you are when it's like you were never taught anything better. So let's say you're going through relationship issues and because you're never like you want to do good, but because you're never taught efficient ways to do things good, you do things in your own way, and your own way is just not what it's supposed to be, but it's the best you got because that's all you know.
But if you know that, then I think you should also know that you can.
Yeah,
Ask for
that's
help.
afterwards like you realize, damn, I wish I would have known, but before that, in the moment, when you're doing your best, but it's not good enough.
Well, that's part of the learning process. It's part of the trial and error. Trying shit your way. Sometimes your way is just a way that you picked up along your journey through fucking life. And then you'll try it, it's not gonna work, then you'll I mean, if it doesn't work, you'll know it's not a right way. So logically, you'd look for a different way. But I think you do have to fuck up to in order to learn things. It's not everything's taught to you. Most of what people learn throughout their lifetime is self-taught, and